Shalom and good day all, this is the Helium29 back again for, well, another pair of some DC comic reviews. And in this one we have Crime Syndicate, issue 1 of 6, and also issue 78 of Nightwing. So, time to get started. Starting off with Crime Syndicate before we move on to Nightwing. So first things first, does the cover in any way help show the formation of what is happening in the story? In fact, it does, and I really enjoy this cover, as it does bring out the depth of the story. And I gave the cover a 7 out of 10. Now I'll move as to why, as we move into the beginning, middle, and end in seeing the art. This is some of the art at the beginning. I'll now move to some of the art towards the middle. This is some of the art around the middle. I'll now move towards the end. And of course some art towards the end, which is actually set on a bit of a flashback, as I really enjoyed it. So what did I give the art in rating? Well, I gave it the same rating as I gave the cover, 7 out of 10. So how does the story hold up towards the things that I like to look for in a story? Number 1, location. Well, it's very clear, even on the cover as well as in the story, that it's taking place on Earth -3. Earth 3. We also have locations in Texas, Metropolis, Arnold, DC, Coast City, and not forgetting Central City and Kansas. The cast consisting of Ultraman, Superwoman, the Emerald Knight, and Owlman, who all make their appearances in this. We also do get like a bit of a bigger backstory with the character of Ultraman as to how he was sent off. We do get a time period. About the only thing we don't get is any comic references, but I'm not too worried about that. The time that get covered in this is November 22. A year that gets covered in this is 1963, as well as addressing where it is in the present. To which the story, I gave an overall 7, as I enjoyed it. It was really nice to see how this story comes about, and also how there's a little bit more depth into these actual villains of this multiverse, where, as the title says, where it's good to be bad. So for this it works, and I really enjoyed that. And I also want to thank Comic Boom for bringing it up as a recommendation on his channel, as yeah, after checking this out, it was worth the read. So, time to move on to some Nightwing. So, now it's time to cover Nightwing, which is written by Tom Taylor. Art by Redondo and also Lucas. Now, does this cover in any way help show some of the formation of what is happening within the story? Surprisingly, it does, and I really enjoy it, and I gave the cover an 8 out of 10. But what about internally? Where does that stand? Well, let's get to it by moving to the beginning, middle, and end in regards to art. This is some of the art around the beginning. I'll now move towards the middle. The art around the middle, very enjoyable, and it felt very consistent throughout the story. And last but not least, the end, or towards the end. Again, I enjoyed this as much as the cover, and I also gave the art an 8 out of 10. I'm surprised at the consistency in this. I really liked what was shown, even emotionally, including what was happening here with the will from Alfred, to which Nightwing was going through. So the next thing, how does it go on my story litmus test side of things? Starting off with, how do we go in regards to cast of characters? Of course, we got Dick Grayson, Nightwing. We got Barbara Gordon, Stella Lyle, or Stetton Lyle, Alfred, and also the villain called Blockbuster, who made his appearance. The locations that we visited in this were Gotham Heights and Upper Bloodhaven. We got to visit the time periods of the past and the present in this, which was really nice. And we even, surprisingly, got a fucking comic reference. And this is from a Tom Taylor book, and I didn't expect this. To which it also does affect the story rating. Of course, the general summary of the story is you learn something about Dick Grayson's past, which he encounters bullies, and in turn starts to return into the area of Bloodhaven, who he finds a bunch of bullies picking on an animal. From there, it moves forward to catching up with Babs, or also known as Barbara Gordon, to which he has a will from Alfred to give to him, and he learns that, okay, you've now inherited this amount of cash. Ooh, lucky boy. For the comic reference, we got Batman issue 101, which was really nice, to which I gave the story, I could have given it an 8, but I chose to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Well, until then, I really hope you enjoyed this comic review. Please don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe if you enjoy the content. Don't forget to hit the notification bell too, so you can get your notifications on a regular basis as to when I'm posting up my content. And until then, let's keep it colourful. And if you've now made it to the end of this video, have yourself an awesome day too.